Hello, guys. You're welcome to a fresh episode on our YouTube channel. Today on set, we'll be talking to Mr. Upgrade, the Wisdom Counseling Man. Mr. Osagie Alex, please introduce yourself.
Okay, Mr. Tress, thank you so much for having me here. So, my name is Osagie Alex, and I'm probably known as Mr. Upgrade at Wisdom Counseling. I'm a poet, a coach, and a writer. That's basically it. I am a personal development expert. I help people to leave good behind so that they can upgrade. And I like to say that I am the shortest distance between who you are now and who you can become. Yes.
Thank you. I think I'm going to ask you to baptize me with this your laughter. Sometimes
Everybody loves his laughter right now.
sometimes I watch my video and I'm telling myself, this man, you are just too serious. The world is not that serious. But when I watch your video, it always starts with a laugh, and it lightens the moment. So thank you for obliging.
Thank you
Today
so
we're
much.
looking at something that has fascinated me about you and what you do for a long time.
Wow.
And that is your consistency
Yeah,
in driving this impact on social media.
sure.
So the first question I want to ask this morning, first in all of this, why social media?
Well, like I said in one of my spoken word pieces back in the day, which was called Freestyle, I said, so I began with social media because I didn't want to be on social as the word media began with me. So, why social media? Social media is a leveler. Social media is a playing field for everybody, and social media gives you the opportunity to reach anyone across the world, right? And it doesn't really put a limitation to you. So you could be in Nigeria and you can be reaching people in Canada, in the UK, in America, all around the world through social media. So it's one thing that I believe that people should be able to use to push the value and the message and the excellence to which they are, right? So I chose social media because besides, the world is a global village and you can be anywhere, keep doing whatever it is that you're doing and be making the impact wherever the people are that are listening to what you're doing. So yes, social media is a leveler and you can be anything through social media actually. So yes, that's why I chose social media, because if you look at it now, if there was no social media, most of the things that we do here in Nigeria may not get across the shores of Nigeria. But with social media, you could be in Nigeria and you can be having a session and having a training in Canada, in the US, in Australia because of social media, right? So social media is just one of the blessings of this generation. Thanks to whoever invented it. God bless you.
Thank you. Okay. Of course, you and I know that when we talk about social media, there's a huge investment of time, there's a huge investment of energy, there's a huge investment of intellectual capacity.
True.
So, how has social media impacted you as a person?
Okay, so for me, social media is a learning platform for me. I see a lot of people who go on social media just to have fun, but for me, I'm always there to learn. And recently, after my hack, I became very, very intentional about learning and not just learning from myself and learning from others. So I would ask a question, please tell me what you learned from this, or share what you learned from this. Because from that singular comment, a lot of people give me their opinion. So I'm learning what it is that they also have learned, right? So for me, when I go on Instagram, when I go on Twitter, when I go on LinkedIn, when I go on, I'm no longer on Facebook. I'm no longer on Facebook since my hack. We'll talk about that later. So when I go on this platform, basically Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn, I'm going there, and YouTube. I'm going there to learn, basically, right? I'm going there to learn. I'm following the people that I can learn from, and I can become better just by watching what it is that they're doing. I'm challenged, I'm inspired. When I see Tony Robbins do an online program, over 60,000 persons attending, I'm like, wow, that's where we want to get to someday. So social media for me is a platform for learning, right? But for some people, it's a platform for fun. But I've also found that you can also make learning fun. And like I always say in most of my lives, I said if learning is not fun, there is no learning at all. because the things we learn with pleasure, we remember them in full measure.
Obviously. Thank you. Then from your end, of course, the goal is always impact.
Fantastic.
Impact.
Fantastic.
So how will you say that social media has allowed you to impact the world? What sort of feedbacks have you gotten from the world as regards what you're doing?
You know, sometimes when I go in the DM and I see people's comments and people's responses, and they're like, "Oh, you were just talking about me when you shared this video. Oh, you were just talking about me when you wrote this post," and all of that. I feel really humbled and I feel privileged to be in people's space and to see that what I do impacts somebody else's. You know, when I started originally, I was up for the likes, the comments, the shares. But then as I grew older with what I do, I realized that the people who are the most impacted by what you do may not like,
Yeah,
they may not share,
that's the truth.
they may not even comment.
And
And you're wondering, but you are the one enjoying it the most. Yes.
why don't you just give us the feedback and let us at least have some sort of enjoyment?
Do you get? But then I realized that as long as I know that the value of what I'm putting out there is impacting somebody, I'll keep doing it. You may never come, you may be like the 9 lepers who never came back to say thank you to Christ. You may never come back, but I know without a shadow of doubt that what I do impacts someone. And because of that, I wake up every day to keep doing that same thing because I know somebody somewhere needs what it is that I'm putting out today. So I will not do that person a disservice to not put it out. So I'll put it out.
Also, of course, you can't take away the fact that social media helps us to generate some kind of income and all of that. Because obviously, like I will always say, the world pays for the value you dish out.
True.
But if money was not involved, if you don't make money from social media, knowing that it costs a lot to be on social media,
True.
will you still be doing social media?
Sure. Exactly. Yes, I will. You know, that was one of the questions that also came to my mind this morning as I was looking at the things and I was getting ready for this. And I was like, if you don't make a cent or a dollar from social media, will you still do what you do? Emphatically, yes, I will still do what I'm doing because you know the impact of the value that you put on somebody's life cannot necessarily be monetized.
Truth.
You know, as much as we want to earn from this thing, which is fantastic, which we should, right? That shouldn't be the goal. I tell people that it's better for you to make meaning than to make money. Because when you make meaning in someone's life, you will definitely make money. But if the goal is just to make money, many times you're going to be frustrated. And the truth is this, people who do a lot of social media work like we do, their real source of income is not from social media, actually.
That's it.
The people who do the speaking, they do the as being authors and all of that, their real source of income is not from social media, right? Social media for them is more of give back.
Impact.
Actually, it's social media is for them to be able to help other people who may never be able to directly get access to them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So if they were looking at just making money from social media, a lot of them would never even go on social media. There's this guy in Lagos, an amazing guy, Leke Order. If you go on YouTube, for instance, you can literally count the number of videos you see about Leke Order. But that's one of the brightest minds we have in Nigeria.
Awesome.
Do you understand? So his works are not necessarily on social media, but to get access to him, you need to know who knows who in the country to get access to him.
Yeah.
Right? But this is how social media is a lever. Back in the day when he was still doing his letter to Jack and letter to Jill every Saturday, I was one of the people who were always on that letter. And in fact, he actually inspired me to do my Strength for Weekend and Develop You series that I started to do on Twitter. And then he stopped. But before he stopped at that time, because I was so consistent with showing up, commenting, resharing those works, it got to a time I literally sent him a DM and he replied me and said whenever I was in Lagos, we should meet.
Yes.
And I was like, wow, amazing. The same thing for some other people online too that have reached out like that. From wherever I was in the world at that time, through social media, I've been able to connect with them. Now, back to the question, if I didn't make money from social media, I will still do what I'm doing.
Awesome.
Because the goal was not about making money, actually.
Truth. Because you use the line that it's better to make a meaning
True.
than to focus on making money.
Yeah.
But the oxymoron about that is the fact that when you make meaning, you
Yeah.
eventually make money.
Definitely.
But the amazing thing is that when you go all out with the goal of making money, you may end up not making both.
Yes.
Yes, that's the thing.
Yes.
If you go all out and your goal is to make money, you may
True.
end up not making the money, you may end up not making meaning. Because the Bible talks about the fact that out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks.
True.
You will always reflect that drive, that desire, that
True.
it's money I need from this thing. And
True.
once that beclouds you, you don't make the people can sense it that
True.
this guy is out for my pockets.
True.
And once that becomes the goal, you miss it. And of course, no matter how impactful that session is supposed to be, you also miss the impact.
True.
Because I looked at this. I shared on my radio program recently that business coaching, business consulting is expensive.
Very true.
None of us can make it cheaper. Because for a business coach or a business consultant to be able to give you the value that you need to drive your business, this guy needs to consistently
True.
eat a lot, consume a lot. And it's not cheap.
True.
So I said the best way we think that we can make this easy is to come on air with our own money and just ask that you call in, ask your question, and we give you feedback.
Exactly.
The truth is, as cheaply, as free as you will get that, whether you like it or not, you use the line in your money post today that we should have it at the back of our mind that we will reap what we sow.
Yeah.
Even if you don't reap from
Where?
where you sow.
Exactly.
And that's a natural principle.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that. Then you hear people use the word show up every day. Show up every day. I'm sure you believe in that because
Sure.
I would have said, do you believe in that? I don't want to ask you believe in that because you show up every day.
True.
But you and I
True.
know that it is not an easy task to show up every day.
Exactly.
It's not an easy task. So how do you get this content? Because when you want to show up every day, you want to show up rich, you want to show up with impact. So how do you always get to come up with the content? And I like what you do. You always use this framework, acronyms and all of that,
Yeah.
which help the knowledge to stick.
Yeah.
So how do you come up with this on a consistent basis?
Okay, well, on that one, we'll say, like they say in local parlance, na God. But when people say na God, they don't want to really tell you what they do. But I'll tell you what I do. For me, I think because everything that I do every day, I'm learning from it. Whether it's a conversation, whether it's a video I'm watching, whether it's a YouTube page, I'm just learning. So because I'm learning, I'm always staying ahead of myself to know, okay, this is something I want to talk about. You know, since I even started this series, which I have not even figured out the name for it, that I show up
Yeah.
every morning and just do my life for like 6 minutes and then share it. As I'm going home the previous day, I'm thinking for what I will share in the morning. So it's work for me, and it's even more work for me because I have to think of a catchphrase that I have to use and change it
Every day.
every day.
That's where the laughter comes up every morning.
Right? So for me, it's about the fact that I observe a lot and then I learn.
Yeah.
And because of that, I take what I share as what I am practicing and share with somebody. Right? So, and then also, some years ago, I heard Bishop Oyedepo preaching, and he said that he's been in ministry for over 40 years or thereabout, and he said he has never repeated any message. I'm like, Jesus, it's not the same Holy Spirit this guy have that I have. So I told myself, like, if he can do it, I can do it. So since then, for the past 5 years, I've been writing consistently every day. I've not repeated anything.
Wow.
Today, as I was coming this morning, I was looking at where I was now on my life lessons from the Bible, which is over 2 years and some months old. And we're currently at episode 783. Today will be 784.
You do that every Sunday. That's the one you do every
Yes,
Sunday.
from Sunday to Fridays.
Okay.
That I share. Episode 784. That's where we are at today.
Wow.
And I am yet to repeat the same topic in 784 episodes. I don't even know when that thing will stop. Because that's a challenge. So what helps me to show up and stay consistent is the fact that I observe a lot and the fact that I learn. So you see, when we were coming this morning, my windshield was a bit bad and it was raining. So I had to tell the person I was with, I said, okay, remind me to get there. I said, well, just driving, I just saw it and I fixed it. So that for me is, don't delay the solution to your challenge. Don't delay it. Just do it. So that's another learning point for me. So tomorrow when I come and say don't delay, it's not because I said don't delay. I remember the fact that I couldn't see properly as I was driving because my windshield was bad. So I fixed it. So that's the same way for some people. They can't see clearly until they fix the windshield in their life. So for me, it's just observing and learning. Observing and learning. And it just helps you to stay consistent. And then another thing that helps me is I try to make whatever it is I learn very relatable. Now, we live in Nigeria, right? And a lot of people who do what they do, many times they do it from the perspective of somebody who's living in America. And like, those things don't fit in here. Joe, Maxwell, if he comes here, but use Nigerian examples, or else we'll not understand. Do you understand? You need to...
even though social media is global, but you are...
It has to still be local.
Platform you are in, we first of all show your content to the place.
It has to be local, right? And that way it makes people relate with you and can connect with you to know, okay, this guy speaks my language, this guy understands me. He's talking from something I can relate with, right? Awesome. And that's what really helps me to just show up every day and have something fresh, you know. And besides, I'm a child of God. I'm not going to hide that. I believe in God strongly. And God says He daily loads us with benefits. So every day I have to get my benefit and share my benefit with you. So that's what it is.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm sure we're learning a lot. He used two phrases that I want you to keep: observing and learning. And just understand the fact that you have a well that never runs dry.
Exactly.
That's the person of the Holy Spirit. So
exactly.
Something fresh
needs to come out every day.
Myriads, millions of pastors all over the world, all of them drawing inspiration from the same Holy Spirit.
True.
And most of the times you listen to anyone, it's as if this person was just with you in your bedroom, because what they are sharing is impacting. So it's the same God. Thank you for sharing that. Then you lost your social media handle some 2-3 years back. I remember for a while I didn't see you until we met in this Access to Success program. I said, this man is a strategic man. I've not seen you for a while. Are you trying to use some level of scarcity to increase your price? So when I asked that and you said, oh, I lost my... even though it wasn't mine, but I felt it because I know the efforts, I know the energy. But 2 years... less than 3 years now, thereabouts, you have practically gained over half. You lost at 21,000 thereabouts. The last time I checked, you already had about 16,000. So what's the secret?
Okay, you know, I didn't lose the account because I want to now have a story to tell about the account at the end of the day. But this is something that I feel, okay, since you brought it up, I'll talk about it. Now, it happened in May 7th, 2021, right? I finished my live on Friday, the previous day, and then in the morning, picked my phone, and I saw that I had been logged out from my Instagram. And I was like, I don't understand what's happening. So I rushed to my office. I felt okay, probably was network in my house. I rushed to my office with my laptop, be able to see how I can sort it out. That day, there's nothing I didn't do. I sent Instagram a mail. I do the mock shot. I snap myself holding my passcode and everything so that is my account and all of that. I did all of that, and nothing happened. The account was hacked and disabled. And my Instagram was connected to my Facebook. And the Facebook paid me the most because I've been sharing on Facebook since 2010. Right? Instagram, I just joined in like 2015, 2016-ish. So I was a newbie on Instagram, but I had grown to 21,300 at that time. Right? So it was gone. As though that was not the end. You know, when they say village people following you, as though that was not the end. May 21, same May, my WhatsApp was gone.
Wow.
So I lost Instagram, 21,300, May 7th. Facebook, over 5,000 max friends and different groups I've been on were gone. And then WhatsApp, over 4,000 contacts gone. So it looked like I was now in ground zero.
Wow.
I was going to start afresh. So I left it. The whole of May, that 2021, I didn't just do social media again. I just left. I was still thinking. But the first thing I did, I went back, and in June 1st, I went back and got another Instagram account with the same name, but a double L this time as against one L on the wisdom counseling. So I left it so that nobody would go and take the name. And then some people came in my DM and like, oh, you lost the account. We can be able to help you rectify it and all of that. I was like, that one, I don't understand. The real owners have sent them what they asked for. I can't get it. This one you want to do back end. I don't want to go that way. I don't want to swing that way. Just rest. So I left it. I said, how am I going to start from scratch? I've lost Instagram. I've lost Facebook. I've lost WhatsApp. And these were platforms where I do all my work, literally. So for me, I just left it, and I was just thinking, where do I begin from? So I got back my Instagram account, the new one I've opened now, 0 following, 0 posts. I just left it. And like, where do I start from? 2 weeks into that June, I said, okay, for what is what? Let me begin. No matter what. Let me really prove that comeback story. Then I started to post again. But guess what happened? What really now made me know that the loss is not actually a loss. So prior to that time, I had started.
And that was what you talked about.
So prior to that time, I had started my program, the accountability system program, and then it was still like I think it was still like $100 or so, or $200 thereabout. And then when I came back on Instagram, I made the first post that, oh, my account was hacked and all of that. People did not really follow. No, you have this kind of assumption about yourself, like, okay, when something like that happens, something happened to Today Head Note, and then in one day, 1 million following back. I was like, who am I? I will get my people back. Story. Nobody came. And I was like, okay, how do I do this? So I started growing. I got the first 100 back. I was excited for 100 following when I was coming from 21,300. I was excited. And I was excited about the whole journey back. But what got me interested about the whole thing was in that same June, somebody from nowhere sent me a DM. I was like, he wanted to register for one of my courses. I'm like, are you for real? He said, yeah. And I told him the amount. Then I saw the alert. The moment I saw that alert, then the program was about 110,000-ish, right? If you convert it to Naira. The moment I got the alert, I knew I am back. I knew I am back because I know that this is a sign that I don't need to cry over spilled milk. I don't need to feel bad about that loss. I should move on. And truth be told, from that time till date, there was a period I was growing by 1,000 following every month. It's even this year that slowed down. I was growing by 1,000 following every single month. And then I caught up very quickly. Right now it's at 16,500. And I was lost at 21,300. And I still left the bio like that till I get to 21,300. I will not change it. Right? And I said on my bio that I'm rebuilding. But for me, truth be told, the number of businesses I've done with the new account, I didn't do it with the old account.
That's it. Possibly some persons who followed that old one were not really your kind of.
They probably were not for me, right? But this one, amazing. And there's something that happened recently. I was on a live last Friday, and somebody came in the comments and was like, you have this kind of following, and then people in your life are not up to this number. You know what I did? I just blocked the person. Because I realized that if you can't appreciate people's journey, you don't need to see the journey at all. You don't need to see it. Like Elisha told the economic advisor of the king that you will see it, but you'll not be a part of it. Right? So he literally saw it, but he didn't. The stampede killed him. Right? So for me, I had to show up back because I realized that this thing must continue. This is just a setback. And besides, I support Manchester United. We are the king of comebacks. So I have to come back. And we are back. We are not there yet, but we are back. And since we've been back, there are a lot of new things that have added that we didn't have before. Right? So that loss for me was good. It was a good
Awesome.
loss.
Awesome. Okay, thank you. I don't have so much to say about football because I don't follow football at all.
There are lessons to learn from football, actually.
Of course,
There are lessons. For me, there are
are.
lessons for everything.
Oh,
Even when watching movies, I tell people that there are basic four things I learn in a movie. There's a business lesson in the movie. There's a life lesson in
life
the movie.
lesson, of course.
There's a leadership lesson in the movie. And there's also, what's the fourth one now? Can't remember the fourth one, right? But those lessons are very critical. And when I'm watching a movie, I'm not watching because I want to see the action, see them shoot gun or slash sword. No, I'm watching because I'm looking. What's the business lesson I'll learn from this that I can go
Yeah,
and practice? What's the life lesson I'll learn from this that I can go and practice? And when I tell people to watch movies too, I also ask them, what did you learn from
from
that
that
movie?
movie.
Because it's not just a movie,
Yeah,
right? It's not a movie
there's
because there's a
actually a
message
message they want to send.
that they are sending. And if you don't get the message, you wasted your time watching the
Yeah,
movie.
that's what PK will call gossip. Consuming a content that you cannot use is gossip.